amunt els cors, amunt els estandards i crideu amb mi. Visca València! I visca les Falles!
We are witnessing an act that occurs in the city of Valencia on the last Sunday of February. It is the Crida. A woman calls all the people to celebrate and live one of the most peculiar, participatory and massive parties of the West. It is the culmination of a year's work. The Fallas of Valencia begins. Medieval chronicles tell the story of some children who threw wood into the fire when the day started to grow lighter. Some also speak of dragons who, from the top of bonfires, offered their protecting fire so that the harvest would be fertile. About 200 years ago, the residents of the city threw away materials that were no longer useful and burnt them. But the foundation of the Valencian Fallas as we know them today is over 150 years old, when some streets of Valencia were invaded by strange monuments made of wood, fabric and wax. A festival that has expanded to more than 700 fallas throughout many villages of the Valencian region and even beyond. Like the ancient Greeks, the Valencians take the festival of the Fallas wherever they go. The Fallas Festival is like a planetary system with a solar nucleus. The monument of the Fallas, the Falla. The Falla is an artistic and ephemeral monument which has taken a year to create and on which many people have worked. It is ritually installed on the 15th of March. It is the magic moment of La Planta, or the assembling of the Falla. The Falla has an internal wooden structure which is covered with cardboard, fabrics and new materials. We can gradually guess the festive, satirical and critical nature of the monument through the stories that the ninots tell. The ninot is the core element of the Falla, with its own identity and story. The Fallas are integrated into the urban network and transform the city into a living organism, a festive site with the participation of the citizens. This is demonstrated year after year when society democratically votes for the reprieve of the best ninot. This figurine will be saved from the fire and will become part of the Ninot Museum, an area where respect for the past and tradition can be felt. The opening of the Fallas in urban space allows citizens and visitors from around the world to participate. This spirit projects the cultural space of the Fallas onto the world. The spreading of this festival cultural space beyond the monument makes the sustainability of indigenous intangible goods deeply rooted in the customs of Valencia possible. Around the Falla, the Casal orbits, the neighborhood association headquarters. It is an agora of social cohesion, regardless of age, sex, or national origin. Citizens organize themselves through the Casals, where they work 12 months per year. There, teams are created. They are the Fallas Commissions, the neighborhood association in charge of coordinating the cultural, social, and supportive activities. Because the festival also has an original soundtrack, the traditional Valencian music ritually accompanies many of the acts. The Fallas Festival helps to preserve the tabal and dolçaina, authentic and peculiar instruments. But if there is a choral soundtrack, we must find it in the musical bands which accompany the Fallas groups, keeping the scores associated with the festival alive. And through the veins of the Fallas, powder also runs. Because one of the basic and untransferable elements of the Festival of the Fallas is the game of powder. With indigenous expressions in the shape of mascletalles and trons de bac. The fireworks specialists are a mix of alchemists and scientists who experiment with the magic of fire and noise. They provide the festival with a sound which makes the heart beat in a surprising way. For many days, Valencia is a cloud of powder whose smell takes the visitor to another world. An essential planet orbiting around the fire is the written culture that the festival generates. There at the foot of the ninots, the citizen can read in the language of the Valencians some satirical verses that openly criticize topical subjects. The monument has a gibret associated to it, a publication in which the themes of the fire are commented upon and are described in an ironic and light-hearted way. One of the signs of identity of a culture is its language, and the Fallas preserved the language of the Valencians even during the times when it was forbidden. Today, many scholars and researchers work from different fields of knowledge on the importance of the festival. Around the fire, the satellites of craftsmanship orbit. The indigenous artisans who create products that are unique in the world. One of the most important groups are the Fallas artists. Half architects, half painters, sculptors, engineers, decorators. Slowly, the monument emerges from their hands. They are artists who orally transmit their knowledge from generation to generation in order to achieve a good fire. In the year 2011, the construction process of the Fallas was included in the curriculum of vocational training. The falleros and the falleras encourage traditional activities that have been passed on from father to son. Many dresses worn by the protagonists of the festival are made with looms that are over 300 years old. Each dress is different and keeps a 100-year-old tradition alive. Many buns and ornamental combs which form part of the fire aesthetics are inherited between generations and are the subject of many specialists' rigorous research. The same applies for the makers of handheld fans, the goldsmiths, stringed instrument makers, or chiselers. These are professions directly associated with the Fallas. Without them, many would disappear. The institutions have taken care of the Fallas, helping to dignify them in difficult times. Always pledging to preserve and continue one of the most flamboyant festivals that currently exists. The modernization of the festival, the adaptation to changing times, is now one of the most important objectives of all the institutions, so that the Fallas of Valencia can continue each year with its personality, but without giving up on the challenges of new technology. On the 19th of March, all the Fallas monuments are burnt. The wheel of time has once again turned 365 days. Just like an element of unity, the Falla claims the district humane and sustainable, multicultural, intergenerational, and integrating. That night, many towns of Valencia become a huge bonfire. A purifying fire that cleanses everything and which makes everything start over. Like a phoenix, from the ashes of those Fallas, the moods and the energy will rise again in order to build the Fallas for the following year.